Okay, we're back on the program. Let's go straight and look at the oil and gas, the big seven assets. Well, of course, Wando was the talking point in the market yesterday when the management briefed the market community about the state of affairs of the integrated energy trader. So let's get on with the numbers, as it were, for the big seven. Wando was up a massive 10.14%, nearly 6.5 million ordinary shares, 8.69. Now, this stock is climbing back up. You've seen as low as 3.50 Naira for Wando in the days of his troubles last year. Then it keeps recovering. Now it's heading above 8 Naira. I hope you're looking at that number for this company trying to wade out of its massive negative balance sheet since 2015 due to a basket of issues. Now, you look at the rest of the market. Total managed 2.35%, also a green shoot. 249 was the closing number, but the rest of the big seven were unchanged. Okay, look at the sector in summary yesterday. 1.4%, of course, all thanks to the two oil majors, Wando and Total. So we finished off in the green, 1.4%. Year to date, that sector is now well above 14%, 14.7%, and the dividend yield 1.9%. That gets a lot better. So you look at that there. Some of the earnings on the street from Mobil Oil PLC, its numbers really affected by a number of factors, including the buyout of ExxonMobil 61% by NIPCO, an independent oil major. That's a story for another day. So let's get on to the conversation. The Maritime University, this time last year, it was all front and back as far as this university was concerned. It was once said to not be viable, according to the current Minister of Transportation. Then it was closed down. Of course, it was the brainchild of the Jonathan's administration, one of those institutions placed down there to alleviate and bring the people in the Niger Delta, oil producing region, closer to the government and have some benefits of hosting the community where you produce Nigeria's oil. So now that the vice president, or via the president, now says that the university should be reopened later in the year, we're bringing that to the fore. And to do that is a maritime consultant and a council member of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry. He was also the head of the committee within the LCCI in charge of freight forwarding. Good morning. Thanks for bringing you here, Mr. Kenan Wosu. It's good to have you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for coming. When you hear this news that the Nigeria Maritime University will be reopened, it's based in Delta State. What's your initial thoughts about this reopening?
Honestly, joy. That was the first thought across the industry. First for me, second among the industry players. Reason, it's long overdue. The first maritime university in the world was set up by IMO about 34 years ago, 1983, in Sweden. And since then, it's had campuses in other countries, in different countries, and some other countries have set up theirs. Well, ours is coming, conceived in 2012, along with some other federal universities, approved finally in 2014. Everybody was happy, IMO was happy, and then industry operators as well, because the courses you expect industry players to be taught in the normal mainstream universities are not taught. So the first thing that came to our mind was that, so this is actually going to happen. So everybody was happy when we heard it was going to be reopened. Take it or leave it. The maritime sector of this country has the potential to employ more people than the banking sector and 2, 3, or 4 other sectors combined. Because this country's maritime resources, natural resources, are extremely uncountable.
Do you remember the exact rationale for setting up the Maritime University in the first instance under the Jonathan's administration?
Capacity building. We need not less than, at the last research report, about 150 different type of personnel. We have only about 1,000. Take it from me at the professional level. We're not talking down the cadre where the Filipinos operate. Now, in Nigeria, we have, now this country sits on about 850 kilometers of ocean water. We have about 3,000 kilometers of inland water. Yet we don't have a specialized university that teaches the maritime courses. Is it maritime safety, maritime environmental management, maritime energy, maritime insurance, ship logistics, ship management? Name it. It's just such a lot in the value chain. Yet, at the IMO, at the last count, I had over 172 Nigerians who have gone there. Now, check out the foreign exchange spent going there. And under Jonathan's administration, we set up the second petroleum university, University of Petroleum in Africa. And he was going to do that for the maritime sector, and he did it. So why shouldn't we have it? So the essence was capacity building. Now, I've said to people, the shipping sector in this country is occupied basically by foreign companies. You have the Nigerian Content Board, whose job is to make sure Nigerian content is given upper hand. Now, the Nigerian Content Board, as far as we are concerned in the industry, should play a major role in respect of this university because their job is to build Nigerian capacity, professional and industrial. Now, the government is trying to employ people. But the maritime sector has so many foreigners there because you don't have sufficient number of Nigerians who can occupy those positions. When you go to some other countries, like in South Africa, I had a colleague of mine who, professional, worked in 22 countries, in the maritime sector. And when in South Africa, he was to be employed in South Africa, one of the biggest shipping companies in the world. They had to first of all, it took him 6 months before he could get in there. They had to first of all advertise the post in South Africa, make sure that nobody is qualified for the post. And if nobody was qualified, then for 6 months they advertised it, and they told him, if you're going to stay in this position, you will stay here for 2 years, and within those 2 years, you must train the trainer, so someone takes over. We don't have that in this country. So you find the foreigners occupying a lot of positions in the maritime sector, so there's a major capacity gap. That university is to fill that gap. And it is not negotiable. Otherwise,